Still much more to come on San Diego Insider, from security guard to the go-to guy on Star Trek. Why this San Diegan is called the Jackie Robinson of Star Trek writers.
How do you go from working in the security guard shack to working on this? It's a story that Jimmy Diggs loves to tell.
It's a rainy night and this guy lost his keys.
Now, from Channel 4 San Diego, this is San Diego Insider Magazine.
Our next story is about a man in search of a career. He ended up going from security guard to screenwriter on one of the world's most popular sci-fi series. As Jeannie Rodden reports, he made it happen by grabbing an opportunity that sent him to the stars.
Here's the question. How do you go from working in the security guard shack for Stu Siegel Productions to working on this? It's a story that Jimmy Diggs loves to tell.
It's a rainy night and this guy lost his keys. And so I'm helping him find his keys and everything. And I don't know what made me do it, but I just asked him, I said, hey, I've got some ideas for the show. He turned out to be the executive producer of the show.
The show was Star Trek: The Next Generation, and that fateful rainy night meeting earned Jimmy a grab at the big time, whether he was ready or not.
And then I ran to the bookstore to buy a book, How to Write for Television, because the truth is, I was lying. I didn't have an idea in my head. It just seemed like the right thing to say to the right person.
But he came up with story ideas fast and got to pitch them to Star Trek producers.
I didn't even know what a pitch was, though. I was pretty sure it didn't have anything to do with baseball.
The pitch worked. Jimmy got hired to write his first Star Trek episode for Paramount. This one was called Rise from Star Trek Voyager.
The asteroid is fragmenting.
Part of the plot was inspired from a classic movie.
I'm a sucker for an old Jimmy Stewart movie
Called Flight of the Phoenix.
I decided that was a great idea for a science fiction story.
In the Jimmy Stewart movie, their airplane crashes. In the Star Trek episode, their space shuttle crashes.
Can't send a shuttle down to get them. They can't transport them out. They're stuck. Just so happens this planet has a derelict orbital tether.
And yes, you guessed it, it's the orbital tether that gets them out. Jimmy went on to write 9 freelance episodes of Star Trek: The Next Generation. He's been called the Jackie Robinson of Star Trek writers.
I think there's only been, in the entire history of Star Trek, there's only been 3 African-American writers that have ever sold, and there's been hundreds and hundreds of episodes.
Those hundreds of episodes all came flooding back when Jimmy took a tour of the Star Trek exhibit on display at the San Diego Aerospace Museum.
Yeah.
Do you recognize all these characters?
Every last one of these races.
When we got inside, he was like a kid in a candy store.
They say there are 3 chairs that everyone longs to sit in. One is the chair of the Pope, the chair of the President of the United States, and the chair of Captain Kirk. Whoa, that feels just right.
As we continued through the exhibit.
Oh my goodness, look at these wonderful props. That's the Tribble. That's the phaser rifle.
You get the sense that Jimmy's been here before. So you recognize this?
This is the Guardian of Forever.
But his travels in the alien world aren't over yet. Jimmy is creating new aliens to fight the heroes of the interstellar world. He calls them the Kilkenny Cats.
They are fierce, intelligent felinoids, creatures that evolved from something like our Great Plains cats.
Jimmy is hoping these villains will be the next evil force for Star Trek generations to come. He admits his goal is a little ambitious.
Offer these to Paramount as the new villain that will revitalize the franchise and reconnect the fans with Gene Roddenberry's creation.
He sees it as his way to give back.
Maybe I can give someone a little spark of inspiration the way these great science fiction writers, the way they gave me back in the day.
From security guard to screenwriter to beyond the final frontier, Jimmy says he hopes to spur the imaginations of millions more sci-fi fans for light years to come. I'm Jeannie Rodden, Channel 4, San Diego.